What is up, FIREDISC Nation? I am Michael Garfield, and welcome to the latest edition of Fired Up with Michael Garfield. It is summer of 21 right now. It is hot, but we keep on touring the country to give you some fun ideas of what to do with your FIREDISC. We are in Houston, Texas right now, as you can see at Buff Brew. It's Buffalo Bayou Brewing. It's just on the outskirts of downtown Houston. Relatively new brewery, 3 stories high, one of the best views of downtown that you're gonna find. But inside, they make a lot of ice cold brew, but better yet, they serve a lot of food. They don't just serve food, they make it. Some of it on a FIREDISC and some of it with beer. So for some recipes and some neat ideas, come on in, let's go take a look. Oh, look who's here greeting me.
Buddy.
How are you,
What's
baby?
up? This is
Look at this guy, yeah. So this is Troy. Troy is the director of sales, and pretty much you bottle wash and you sweep everything. You've been
That's
here
it.
since
I'm
day
the
one.
head squeegee operator. Yes, sir.
Come on in and show us what's going on. Number one,
Hey,
I
yeah,
need to get
come
out of the
on
heat.
in,
I
man.
want some air conditioning.
Come on in, check it out.
Yeah, this is absolutely such a beautiful brewery.
Thank you, man, and check it out. So you know what we make here, right?
You make beer and
Make
a lot
beer,
of
and
food.
I've got one right here for you. Delicious Mango Crush City.
Is this like a rule or law, certainly in Texas, when you come into a brewery, you just got to be
You walk
handed
in,
one?
I've got a beer waiting for you.
Okay, so
You
quickly
know
tell
that.
us about this one. This is I know
Crush City is our #1 selling IPA.
your flagship.
Yeah, it's our flagship. We make more Crush City than everything at the brewery combined. Sell it all across Texas. This is
New.
a special release of Mango Crush City. Oh my God! Wait till you open it.
Mango's like a hot flavor right now all over the place. And
You're
plus,
gonna
it's a,
find
good,
out why.
it's a good summery beer too.
It's spicy. It's sweet. Oh, it's
You just
so
described me,
wonderful.
man. I see
Yeah,
what I
there
did. 7.0%. So now
Yes,
we got all
sir.
7. Okay, hold on.
In a 16-ounce can. You know it. Cheers.
Oh my,
Look at that.
I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, man.
That is
mango.
spicy and is sweet. It is mango. All right, so we got this. So when people come into the brewery over here, which is just on the outskirts of beautiful downtown Houston, they're ushered in over here. And what is this? We got a
First
little bar?
thing you see is you see our tanks. We want you to know you're at a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk in, I always want you to know that you're at a brewery. We built this entire facility around the theory of theater in the round. So the brewery's in the center of everything. I'm going to show you in a minute. Even when you're on the roof, you can see down into the brewery. You go to so many breweries and you're just lost. You're like, all right, cool, I saw the brewery, and now I might as well be in any other bar in the world.
Well,
Here, everywhere you're always going to see that you're in Buffalo Bayou Brewery. Even out on our dog-friendly patio, you look into the brew house.
So look at this. Instead of just typical rope, you've actually got kegs ready to go.
Heck yeah, man.
Okay, is it okay if I
We're
take one of
ready
these
for
home?
it. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I know.
We can
I know people over
negotiate
there.
something.
I also know you. I know Chef Arash. He's waiting for us upstairs a little later, like that, because one of the things I want to talk about is not so much this great beer, you know, how beer is made, which we're going to find out right over here, but also you can make food with beer, and he's just a professional at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all right. So
he
anyway,
does it better than anybody.
Yeah. So one of the neat things I get to do, I can come in and I can say I'm hungry and I'm thirsty, and the folks at Buffalo Bayou Brewery in Houston, they are going to make sure that
We
they
were
take care
voted
of me.
Best pizza in the city of Houston by Culture Map Tastemaker Awards in 2020. No other brewery can say that. We've got food and we've got beer, and it's all fantastic.
Hungry and thirsty, I am ready for your tour. You ready?
Yeah, I'm
All right.
ready. Let's go see how we make beer.
Let's do this.
Cheers, y'all.
Yes, sir.
We're looking at our brew house right now. This custom-made Deutsche Brew House is manufactured just for Buffalo Bayou. State of the art, unlike anybody else's. You can see everything's computer controlled over there. All high tech, buddy.
We like high tech, and high tech and beer are two really good
There
things.
you go.
Yeah,
There's
so-
a digital control board up there where the guys can control every switch, every lever, every valve.
So what
all
starts
that
in
cool
here?
stuff.
What starts in here? What goes in
So
here?
what happens is, if you look up top, grain in. We bring grain from a mill. It goes up top and it drops into the lauter or the mash tun up top.
Right.
At that point, we add about 170, 180 degree water.
Hot water.
That creates an enzymatic reaction with the grains and the malts,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns all of the sugars, releases them, and it gives us a sticky water that's sweet and syrupy. We call that wort, W-O-R-T.
Okay.
Okay? We get the wort, we let all those grains, we pull them out the bottom, and you see right down here, it just comes out the bottom, it goes right back up, it goes out to that big white tank outside,
Right.
and a truck picks that up and takes it to a local farm and feeds it to cows and pigs.
Interesting.
All the spent grain, it's still got life in it.
I noticed there's a lot of pipes everywhere. So really, this is a factory. It goes from process one
They
to
are a
process two,
manufacturing
from vat
facility.
to
Yes,
vat
sir.
to vat. And that's what I want to
There's a
say.
giant boiler around the corner. I mean, there's dangerous stuff around here. It is a factory. Then gets heated up to a boil that sterilizes it. As we're ending the boil, we begin adding hops. When we add hops and it's really hot, we extract bitter flavors from them. Then we let it start cooling down. As it's cooling down, we add more hops. And then we start extracting the beautiful aromas. That's the aromatic additions. At that point, we get everything cooled down. We transfer it. It comes right through the quality control lab that's behind you.
Right.
Every single drop of beer that we make goes through over 1,000 quality checkpoints in this building.
Has to be perfecto.
It has to be perfect, and it has to flow through that lab and get analysis done on it. Flows into these conical shaped tanks over here.
And then this is where we're going to walk over here, because I see these. We're lucky. I'm lucky enough to actually go into some breweries. I've always wanted to know: are these different types of beers? What's the process? What happens in these? The second step.
Types of beers, but what's important is that cone-shaped base, and that they're all wrapped. So what you're seeing is the outer layer. There's actually what the beer touches is in an inner layer. So this is a glycol jacket. You feel how cold that is?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So we're able to control the temperature with glycol that surrounds the entire tank. So we want to get this down to under 70 degrees, and then we add the yeast. The final process, we come out of the fermenters with the cone-shaped bottoms. We come into the bright tanks, and if you can get a shot, you can see they're flat on the bottom.
They're not cone-shaped. They're actually flat. Yeah.
Because we don't have any more yeast in there. We pulled all the yeast out through the flocculation.
Right.
Now we put them in there, and we get super cold. We bring it down to almost freezing, and that creates all the clarity. That's why it's called a bright tank. It makes the beer bright. It polishes it.
Gotcha.
So we let it sit in there for a couple of days, let it get bright, and then we transfer it over, and I can't wait to show you the canning line. Let's go take a look.
I want to see that canning.
Yeah.
Schlemiel! Schlemazel! Haas and Bev Incorporated! Oh my God, Troy, this
I feel
is...
like Laverne and Shirley right here.
This is absolute. This is the shots brewer to me. I mean, this is like, what's going on? You're talking about the canning, so all the beer is done, and so tell us this final process right now. I just want to take one of these right
now.
now.
You see the hose over here?
Okay.
It's coming from one of the bright tanks, okay?
Yep, uh-huh.
We have a big machine right here. We call it the depalletizer.
Yep.
Pallets of cans go in, and it depalletizes them. They run down a conveyor. They go through a device right here where they get UV sanitized. They go in, they get filled by a filler. Then they come through, and we're using these blank cans with labels, and they go and they get a little label put on them with pressure-sensitive label. Awesome. And they come around, they go through this device, and that's a pack decker. That pushes the six-packer on top. When they're done, these cans won't get that six-packer. We've got that machine turned off because we're going to use this other machine called the switchback. This machine's really cool. It takes the cardboard box, unfolds it. We have 4 lanes. One man can feed 4 different cans in, and the machine knows exactly what to do. It packs 4 brands in a 12-pack box, spits it out, assembled on the other side, put those on a pallet, and then they go in the coolest place. Which literally the coolest place. I can't wait to take you in there.
It's called the cold rooms. This is the thing I've been hearing about.
It's the cold room.
I'm telling you
what. Where we want to be on a hot Texas day with a cold beer.
The only thing we're missing is Lenny and Squiggy right now. Exactly.
All right, man.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. All right, let's hit that cold room, brother. Come on.
Come on in, Garth. Let's go get in the cold box.
This is called the cold box. Wait a minute. 1 foot in, I know why it's called the cold box.
Man, this is where I want to be on a hot Texas
So
day.
after all the beer is made, after all it's canned and it's in kegs, this is where you store it before it goes to stores or whatever?
For a very short period of time.
Okay, how cold is it right now?
Up below 50.
It's got, no, this is below 30. Well, it can't be below 32, but it's pretty darn close to 32. I'm telling you what, in the entire state of Texas, there's no better place to be than what, about 1,500 square feet right now. This is phenomenal. I love it.
When you're really hot, just go hug one of those kegs. That'll cool you right off.
So obviously, beer continually and constantly, it has to be kept at a relatively cool temperature, even on the trucks.
Light and temperature are the enemies of beer.
Interesting.
Light and temperature. That's why beer should be in a brown bottle or an aluminum can, even better. Keep all the light out, and then temperature is terrible for it. We want to keep it nice and cool. We try and keep our beer cool all the way. Here, it gets picked up in a refrigerated truck by Houston Distributing or Faust Distributing, our wonderful partners here in the city. And it's delivered straight to H-E-B, Specs, Kroger, Whole Foods, all our favorite retailers, Total Wine and more. All those guys, where it goes straight onto a cold shelf. And then you can come and buy our beer nice, as fresh as you can get it from the brewery, delicious, ready to enjoy at home. Or better yet, come on up to Buff Brew and enjoy it here. Because I'll tell you what.
Because you serve it here and you can take some home.
You serve it here, you can take it home. But more importantly, when you enjoy it here, you can enjoy some of our amazing chef's food. Chef Arash Karat absolutely unbelievable chef. I already told you about his pizzas. What I didn't tell you is he makes the pizza with the same yeast that we make the beer with.
Well, that makes that does make sense because everything yeast really does play a big role when it comes to breweries. Not so much just making the beer, but also because there's so much food served at breweries too.
Absolutely.
Now, I've heard a lot about Chef Arash too, like that. So look, final question about the beer. I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of kegs and thousands of cans. Obviously, the shelf life in here can't be too long. You make it, you got to ship it out. How long does some of the stuff stay in here?
Beer stays in here less than a week.
And then it gets out.
Yeah, as fast as a truck can come. Typically, we're producing to get beer to a distributor. We try and have our distributors hold between 21 and 28 days of inventory on hand so that when beer sales spike on the holidays, they don't run out, and we've got beer ready to refill their cold boxes. It goes to their cold box. It sits there for anywhere from 1 week to maybe 3 at the most, and then it's on your grocery shelves. Our goal is to get it on the shelf a week from the time it's produced. That's what I
born on and then sipping.
Nothing like fresh off the canning line.
I literally just took it off the canning line. Listen, Troy, I cannot thank you enough. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Congrats on your success. I mean, you've been around for about 9 years total, maybe a year and a half in this location. If you are around the Houston area, one of the spots to go to, seriously, it's the 3-story beautiful Buffalo Bayou brewing like that. Thank you so much. And now comes the fun part. I've got a liquid in me. Now I need to sober up. I need to sober up. And now it is time for food.
You're going to go see Rosh in the kitchen. He is going to make some amazing food for you. I can't wait for you to check it out.
Deal. All right. Come in, my man. All right.
Everybody, look for Buffalo Bayou beers and now seltzers at your favorite grocer.
And
cheers, y'all.
Chow time. All right, well, somehow they let me in the kitchen where the magic of the food happens, and I'm going to bug Chef Arash, who I haven't seen in a while. How are you, partner?
Good. How the heck are you?
Well, good. Number one, they let me in here without a hairnet. Number two, I just touched your hand. But other than that, we're not breaking any laws, are we?
No. We'll wash our hands. I'll make you put a hairnet on in a second.
We got a great tour of the brewery through Troy, and he showed us ups and downs. The fact is, when you go to breweries all around the country, food is like the hot thing right now because you want to pair everything like that. And so this is a massive kitchen right now.
Yep.
What are you cooking?
We got a lot of catering happening these days. So right now we got the shrimp shooters for a private event this evening. But it's things like that that set us apart from all the other breweries here in town.
Beef tartare?
Beef tartare, 44 Farms,
you don't find that
tenderloin.
at a typical brewery. And this is where it goes crazy, Well, this is a hustling and bustling kitchen without a doubt. And I know you get that, you're busy most every weekday, weeknight, certainly in the summer over here. So when it gets overcrowded, I mean, there's only so much room in the ovens and over here. Do you have a secret weapon where you use something else?
Absolutely. We got the FIREDISC. We got all sorts of fun equipment that we can use wherever we want, mainly in the parking lot, rooftop, patio, wherever. And that's the great thing about it.
I also hear you make a mean dish or two using Buffalo Bayou beer on a FIREDISC. Is that
Absolutely. A lot of badass dishes.
We like badass. We like beer. We like FIREDISC. Would you like to show me the secret?
Let's go.
Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
All right. I can't wait to snack too. All right. So we are on the restaurant floor right now.
Yep.
And it's neat because you've got these big open areas where you can use a FIREDISC.
Absolutely.
How long have you had this here at Buffalo Bayou?
We've had it for almost a year now.
How often do you use it?
A lot. A lot.
Does it open up? I mean, tell me how it adds to your oven and how it opens up. I mean, the people come up here and they just, obviously, it's very curious when you see something like this.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing. People are like, what the heck is that? How do you use it? What's going on over there? They see it. They smell things cooking on it. People love looking at this. They're intrigued by it, and it just adds a whole nother level to the food. But while you're here, rule number 1, grab a beer. And we'll start cooking.
What? I'm not a rule guy, but that is probably the coolest rule I've ever heard. We've got a bucket of Buff Bayou over here. I'm going to go with the lighten up.
There you go.
You came out with this about a year ago.
Yeah.
This literally, during pandemic, got me solely through the pandemic. It's light, it's flavorful, and it's good. So what you're going to do, you're going to go through a recipe over here using beer on the FIREDISC.
Absolutely.
Where did you come up with an idea like this?
Playing around, drinking beer.
That's why That's why you're the chef.
Exactly.
All right, baby.
You want to get started on it?
So what are we going to make first? Actually, let's just maybe we have time for one.
All right. We're going to do our smoked Philly cheesesteak. And the first thing is we start cooking with beer and the onions.
Beer and onions.
Yeah. So this is the biggest. You'll get the hint of the beer and the onions. And it's on the back note where you're like, kind of like, what is that? What is that? And then we got some other fun things that also has beer into it. I'll show you that a little bit later.
Right, okay, so question number one. I mean, you have 75 plus varietals of beer.
Yep.
How do you, this is a serious question, you know, people are like, what do wine pair with? How do you pair beer with food? Like Philly cheesesteaks, what we're doing with onions.
Yeah.
What beer do you use?
We use Lighten Up. And the reason why we use Lighten Up for that is because there's not an intense hop flavor. And when you cook hops down, you get a little bitterness. This one is very balanced. You're going to get a clean taste. You're still going to taste the onion, but you're going to get that hint of booziness where it's like, I know there's beer in there.
Boozy chili feast cheesesteaks. Are you kidding me? All right, you're starting. The chef is up. Show us what's going on.
Let's go.
All right,
We're going to put a little bit of, this is olive oil blend.
Okay.
Again, this is not turned super, super high.
You're on medium right now.
Yeah.
Everybody checking the recipe.
Because we're going to throw the onions in, and we're going to let them slowly cook, and then gradually let it caramelize and get a little bit of color, but not too much.
Okay.
We're going to add the salt and pepper later, but
here we go.
You know, one for you, one for cooking.
By the way, this is one thing you can't do on a grill.
Nope.
Because it would go through the grates and actually extinguish the charcoals. This is what a perfect disc opportunity is.
So we're going to let that do its thing. It's not going to take very long. I'm going to crank it up just a little bit.
Here we go.
Again, let it do its thing. You don't want to rush this. You don't want burns or anything like that.
If you don't rush it, there's more beer for you to drink while
Exactly.
you're actually making everything.
So this is something fun to do like ahead of time, where you can do it like maybe even if you want to do it the day ahead, you know, so you can just focus on actually cooking it all and entertaining your guests. This is what we do here at the restaurant. We'll do a giant batch of stuff like this and have it hanging out off to the side.
You know what I'm thinking? Because I use onions in a lot of things. I mean, people use it on burgers, pizza, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, you could pre-do all the onions that you're cooking this way on the dish.
Yeah.
It's something I never thought
Yeah,
of.
absolutely. And we're going to let this go for a little bit. It's going to come up, start caramelizing, and then we'll start activating all the other fun stuff. We got 44 Farms beef over here, super high quality beef. This is actually prime. We get great prices on it. They're my buddies.
Texas beef.
Yeah. Oh, Texas Black Angus, Cameron, Texas. We smoke it for about 2 hours, super low temperature, just enough to get the flavor, but not overcook the meat. And then it's frozen and then shaved on our slicer. If y'all don't have a slicer at home, you can wrap it up in plastic wrap, freeze it, and then hand slice it. That'll give you more control over the meat, so you can get super thin slices. But fun stuff like this where you can do this at home. Like people are like, oh, I don't have a commercial kitchen. You don't need it. You just got to be a little bit smarter.
Everybody's got a kitchen on. So while this is cooking, I'm going to do a little stirring and let's see how long it takes before these things turn brown. Oh my, these really do smell like boozy onions.
Yeah, man.
Beer, boozy onion. You know what? You just blow off the whole beer making thing and actually start bottling or canning beer booze onions. Those smell good. All right, so that took a few minutes. Now that these are saturated and soaked up, what is next step?
So next we're going to throw the bell peppers in, as much as you like, or, little,
Well, if you have Philly cheesesteaks, you got to have peppers.
You got to.
Yeah. And have you ever been to Philadelphia?
No.
I used to live there like a whole lifetime ago, but I actually went to Gino's and Pat's. That's where the real stuff is.
Nice.
And you have to go in there. You have to yell when you order. It's like what? I want wit. And you really got to be rude. Like all you Philadelphia folks, I still love you over there. But it's like I want wit. It's like cheese with onions. I don't even know how you order. There's a special way to order over here. See, in Texas, we just say, sir, could you please kindly make us a nice Philly cheesesteak sandwich?
Yeah.
Because we're so sweet in Texas.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Please.
Oh.
All
right, so so now we've got the onions, we've got red pepper, we've got green pepper, and here it comes. 44 Farms, which is based in Texas.
Yep. We're going to throw that in there. This is a top sirloin prime that's, slowly smoked. And we're going to just go ahead and just get it in there.
It's interesting because when I usually do on my disc, sometimes I'll put the onions to the side and do the meat over here. You're just mashing it all together.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess that flavor?
Yeah, it's all going to become friends here in a second.
Now, are you going to be mad if I do a little of this?
Nope, there you
go. I want boozy beef, bro. Chef Garf to the rescue.
And that's the best part. I mean, this beer ain't going to hurt nothing. So, again, we're looking for things that keep it juicy. What's going to keep you juicy? More beer. So we're just going to start putting it off to the side, and we're going to say, okay, that looks like 1 Philly. That looks like 2 Phillies. That looks like 3. Just so they all hang out. And then you want to maximize your heat. You don't want to You don't want to burn stuff.
And I notice you're pushing it up to the side, which obviously, as all the fire discers know,
Yep.
600 degrees in the center,
Yep.
200 degrees out by the thing. So now you're warming some of this stuff, so not to really give it a...
And then next we're going to toast the bread. And then after that, we're going to put the cheese on top of this and let it do its thing. You know, again, we don't want to rush things. This is all about entertainment.
It is.
You know.
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, a fire disc is kind of an excuse to drink and actually have fun.
Yeah.
It's just like Hank Hill. We're just sitting here drinking beer
You
and
know.
stuff. I think. Now, I'm going to go back to my old Philly days, and people will, you know, you can find Philadelphia cheesesteak style things anywhere around the country.
Yep.
They say the secret to real Philadelphia stuff, it's the bread. So what kind of bread do you use?
So, again, being from the South, we didn't go Philly traditional. We went Texas and Southern States traditional. So this is our Gambino bread that we get from Louisiana. So they make the best po' boy bread. And that's what we did here.
Po' boy bread.
Yeah.
Right. But it still looks kind of hoagie-ish.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah. And the chew and the crunch on this, bar none. I mean, you
is that
can't
how
beat
it's
it.
rated? Chew and crunch, like a 10 on these scales?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so again, we're letting all this just hang
so
out.
I'm looking at about 5 sandwiches right here. The
Yeah.
way they actually pair it out.
And then, you know, while that's
It's really
doing
as
its
simple at the
thing.
end of the day.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
now this is interesting. Now we got cheese because, you know,
So,
you throw cheese on here. I'm expecting melt, but you now put it right on top
Yep.
of every.
So we're going to do 2 different cheeses. This is a white cheddar,
Okay.
really high quality white cheddar. We're going to let that just, again, hang out.
You
Let
don't
'em-
use Cheese Whiz because they don't laugh because I think they use the squirt bottle Cheese Whiz up in the Philly area. I love this. And again, it's off to the side, so we're now about 200, 250 degrees, but
Yeah.
it's still getting warm.
And then while that's, you know, melting and becoming friends,
Okay.
we're just going to go ahead and
Here we
toast the
go.
bread.
So now we're toasting bread. So you're taking the Louisiana type of po' boy bread.
Yeah.
You're putting that in the hot spot in the center. So now we're getting to 600. Got some smoke coming up. I totally can see how this is like entertainment for people coming
Absolutely.
here. I mean, on a Saturday afternoon, because I mean, there are TVs, there's football, there's basketball watching. People are coming up. This is really entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much fun stuff happening. So I'm just going to push this over to the center where all the little beers having fun. Kind of get some of that steam, melt more of the cheese.
See what you're doing?
And again, this,
You know, it's funny. Like all the people around us are looking like what we're doing.
y'all
This
can
is for
order
us.
this.
This is for us. Order when we're done. See, we're just selling more food. But this is for restaurants.
Yeah.
This is an upsell. I mean, this
Absolutely.
is. I can see. I mean, a lot of restaurants I know they do have fire disc, and they use this for dessert because you can flambe.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Garf, you should have seen the other day I did a catering event upstairs. And you know the sizzling fajita platters?
Absolutely.
That's what this was. And I carried the whole thing into the event. And people were like, what the heck was that? And I was
Brilliant.
like, so,
How
and
many
we did
pounds
for
is
like,
it? I mean, this is a
it
whole
was
oven.
30 pounds and it fed 60 people. So all in all, they were just over the
So
top.
this technically could be a serving dish too. One of the neatest
yeah.
things I saw, and what you know, because one of the neatest bookmark things for all Fire Disc owners out there is the Fire Disc Nation group. 6, 7, 8 months ago, there was another chef who did the coolest thing, other than well, maybe the second coolest thing right now. He made nachos on this thing. So
Nice.
he melted he melted the cheese in the middle, all right? So once everything is melted, he put peppers and onions. He literally laid the chips on the side, and this was the serving dish. And so people would come up and then they would melt it off. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's nonstop. Speaking of cheese, what is this?
So you mentioned the cheese whiz and blah, blah, blah.
Yes, I did.
This is what we do here in Texas, queso.
Yes, we do.
So this is our smoked beer queso, our beer cheese,
What kind of beer do we use in this?
1836.
1830.
And we go
Big
through
flavor.
about 5 gallons of this a day. And it's insane. And there's about 2 gallons of beer in each batch of this.
Can I get a straw to sip it before I want this right inside the vein right now.
So after, we have the white cheddar on there, we're just going to do a little...
Oh, take a look at this. As he drizzles it on over here, that looks phenom. Is this on, by the way, is this on the menu? Here?
This is on our new menu that we just came up for summer. You would think this is not a summer dish, but screw you, it's Texas.
This is a
you know.
year-round dish, man. This is how we roll.
So there you have it.
It is so simple. So anyway, top to bottom. I think funny, the longest part was the onions, which
That's
is if
it.
you really
Yeah.
think about it.
Yep. That's the longest part of this dish.
Yeah. And the sad,
And
okay, so-
honestly, it's worth it.
Oh, it's 100% worth
Yeah.
it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to open my own restaurant because I could probably charge an easy 15 bones for that. If I was
Yeah.
in Philly, I could probably charge $25, $30 for this thing. That is, and listen, it's melting, and this looks like a traditional Philly cheese beer sandwich. This is good. So before we wind it up and I start tasting this stuff, what? Give me another dish or two that you use a different type of beer. Maybe it's relatively easy to do something at home.
Okay, so at home, I mean, you can use damn near any one of our beers. You can do stuff with white raz. This is more of a sweet, fruity beer, and you could use this for desserts. Blend it with ice cream, do a floater, whatever you want.
I like that.
The Dreamsicle beer right there.
Dreamsicle is great, yeah. So
God.
This is one of the signature
Orange
ones.
vanilla.
This is an orange vanilla, about a 5.9% too.
Yep.
But this is almost dessert in a can.
Exactly.
If you really think about this.
So we got so many fun beers here.
And it's good things. So I need to hold off everybody because I'm going to eat one of these things. I don't even know how to pick these things up and eat it.
Yeah.
I'm even scared to. How about this? How about this? I'm just going to do this.
There you go.
We're tight, so I can actually use my fingers. Oh, here it comes. Watch this, people.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get drunk off of a Philly cheesesteak made with beer?
I hope not, because you'd have to eat a whole ton of them to get there.
I am not kidding. That was phenomenal. And I even had the bread. Oh, this is going to be a big fattening summer for me. Hey, listen, Chef, give me some love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats on your success. These are some great tips. And now, I want one or two things. I need a big to-go box. Can I do that?
Absolutely.
All right, then I'm going to go out. I'm going to see all the other things that I can steal.
Yeah.
Is it okay with you?
Let's go.
All right, appreciate it. All right, best of luck. Chef Arash with the ultimate beer-made Buffalo Bayou beer, Philly cheesesteak. It's so good. Well, that was a very fruitful afternoon. I'd like to thank the Buffalo Bayou guys for showing me around, not only giving me some great beer, but also some wonderful food. I hope you got some good tips too. So when you're around the city of Houston, Texas, come take a look at this beautiful brewery just on the outskirts of downtown. And the best part is, I know a lot of people, they told me to take anything I want. So you know what? Ain't nothing better than walk away with a keg. I'm Michael Garfield. I appreciate you tuning in to the Fired Up with Michael Garfield podcast right here, and make sure you keep on cooking with FIREDISC. Feel free to drink too, man. Cooking and drinking, there's nothing better than that. Fired up, drinked up, life is good.